Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are at the Bridgeton, Missouri Goodwill Outlet. And this outlet, one, I absolutely love the carts. You'll get a couple of good views of the carts here. I love the carts. They have handles on all sides, so you can pull from the front, from the side, push it, everything. That is so nice. So again, love that. This outlet is right outside St. Louis. This is not the inside St. Louis outlet. I prefer this one to the inside St. Louis outlet. Honestly, this one is larger. It doesn't seem as cramped, and the people don't seem as frantic in this one as they do in the inside St. Louis one. However, this one, because it is bigger, maybe that's why, I will say the first 15 to 20 minutes after opening is frantic. People push to get in that door very quickly. If you're at the front of the line, expect to be kind of like moved into the building with the people behind you. But, and this is a bit of a deceiving video. There's not a lot of clothes. There's only 3 rows of clothes versus everything else. Hard goods, everything. They do separate their books out from hard goods. They do separate their shoes out, and they do separate the glass, ceramic, dishes, cups, and all that is separated. The media and books have different prices. The glass and ceramic have different prices. I wish the larger items, so like that razor scooter, there's a larger, like electronics and stuff, and some larger furniture items. I wish they would price those separately also. They do not, and I think a lot of times people don't buy those because they aren't priced separately. Right now, I'm currently going through the clothes. I'm not going through the clothes necessarily to look for stuff to sell. I'm going through the clothes more to look for things that we need. This trip was back in May, and I was looking for things I would need for the next coming school year, especially for my son, who has decided just to grow. And how dare children grow? That's really inconvenient and not very cost effective of them. And he needed khakis for school, so you will see me pick up a lot of khakis in this video. There's no market for used khakis on eBay. I'm not hiding something from you. I needed khakis for my son for school, so I am constantly looking at khakis, picking them up, and deciding to get them or not. So that's why I'm picking up khakis. I don't want you to think like there's a huge market for used khakis on eBay. There's not a huge resale market for khakis, but I needed khakis, so that's what I was looking at a lot of. The Columbia, I don't know if I picked that one up. I will pick these up, but be very aware with Columbia. I've had Veroed, I guess is what you call it, for Columbias, new with tags. I can sell used Columbias and nothing happened, but I listed 2 Columbia jackets that were new with tags, and I did get Veroed for those. So, and I don't know why. Just be aware of that. I'm not saying like cut tags off your new with tag stuff, but kind of be aware. And there are other new with tags listed, so I don't know why I got tagged on those, but that's what happened. And I ended up using one as a raincoat, so I kept one and used it. We picked this up. I did buy this. It is a ground cover blanket. It is waterproof on one side, so you can put it on the ground and sit on it. We have a lot of sporting activities, outdoor concerts and stuff like that we go to, so those are always very useful. I have a larger one, a larger Coleman one that can fit all of us on it, but that is a nice small compact one that I can use when it's just my husband and I, or me and one of the kids. So that's why I picked that up. I do go towards vintage. This is lovely 1990s placemats there. I prefer vintage like sheets. Pillowcases honestly go very quickly for me. Vintage sheets, vintage pillowcases, those are placemats I picked up. All of that, super nice. I will look for that. However, you have to be very cognizant and aware that the larger the item, the more likely there is a flaw in it that you don't see. And when you get home, you may find that flaw. I have gotten home with vintage sheets that I really love the pattern, but there was a flaw on them, and I would sell them. I usually ended up cutting the flaw out or listing them with the flaw and selling them as scrap fabric. And they do sell that way too, but those are the ones that have very unique patterns on them that people are buying them for the patterns to reuse. So they're buying the vintage cloth and the patterns. So I guess I bought that for my son, those shorts. My Moral of my story, if it has a great pattern, even if there's a flaw, I probably would still buy it and I would sell it as scrap fabric or crafter's fabric. I have lots of crafter fabric that will sell. This is like a blanket, but it's like a just Walmart brand run-of-the-mill blanket. It's not anything expensive. I look at old vintage jean shirts, old vintage sweaters, stuff like that. I will go more towards the vintage because I don't know what new things, like, I mean, I know the common, Patagonia and stuff like that, but I don't know what brands are really expensive, and it will take me a long time to look those up. So I don't spend a lot of time on that, but I am going through the clothes because I have gone through the hard goods. And I will save the clothes for last because I've just not had good luck with them. But after I go through the hard goods and stuff, I will go back and go through the clothes. And I'm mainly looking for stuff for myself, my kids, my husband, for our family to use, less looking for things to sell. If I do find something to sell, I will pick it up, but I'm not going there with the intention of looking for something to sell. I'm just have very low expectations. This is a blanket with owls on it, but it was like a Walmart brand or something. It was maybe a Target brand. It was not an expensive brand. I always like to look at shirts with prints on them. Granted, everyone else has already been through this before me, so I'm not expecting anything. Maybe if I went and ran there first, I would expect something more, or I would get luckier. I'm last at this. There's not a lot of people around me even going through the clothes. I will say right when it opened, a lot of people did run to the clothing part, and they didn't seem to go through the hard goods. It seemed like it was very split. Half the people went to the hard goods and the other half just sprinted to the clothing section. I will say the ones that went to the clothing section seem to be done and out faster than I thought they would be. This is fabric. A lot of times I will pick up scrap fabric. Again, sell crafters lots. I would not pick up the little squares that are already cut. These are quilting squares. So if someone was looking to make a quilt, there are quilting squares cut, but I would not pick those up. They are too small and very specific. I don't think I picked up that fabric, but I will tend to pick up fabric and sell it in crafters lots. There is I pick up the MLB hat down there, so don't scream at me for not picking that up. I do pick that up. I will pick up beach towels and stuff, and I think I picked up some beach towels this time around. I did pick that up. I have no idea who that is. Again, scream at me. I don't follow the baseballs. I don't follow the professional sports, but if you ask me about a high school sport in our area, I can tell you who's best at what, but professional sports, no idea. I probably should have picked up that towel, or at least looked at the towel. Towels with specific prints on them. I sold a Playboy waist towel, so a towel that ties around your waist. I sold that vintage from the 1970s. I didn't think it would sell. We found it at the bottom of a random auction lot, so I thought that was kind of funny. And it did sell, and it sold decently. Right now, as I'm recording it, it's December 9th. I'm hoping to post it the same day. We are really selling Christmas ornaments. Granted, we just listed a lot of Christmas ornaments. We went to a church rummage sale. It was fill a bag. We filled a paper grocery bag, probably half full with Christmas ornaments. We've listed all the ones that we got that day, and they're going. They're selling. They're selling quite a lot and quite quickly, which makes me very happy because they're gone and they're out of my house. I will say I do see right around now when people are getting their Christmas trees out, they're getting their ornaments out. They've seen some are discolored maybe, some are broken, and they will want to replace them, especially if there's some sentimental value to it. Also, right after Christmas, I will see people buying ornaments because they've broke it that season. They broke it while trying to put it away. All of that happens. So right before Christmas, right after Christmas are the times I will see ornaments sell. And then I really don't, they're pretty much dead until probably September of the next year. So I'm very happy that they're selling now. I don't want to keep them, another year. There are some that I have from last year that still aren't selling that I'm probably just going to donate, honestly, because I don't need to keep them for 2 years. I always look at bathing suit tops, or anything that feels good. Again, I don't wear gloves. My husband does wear gloves. My son was with us this trip and he also wore gloves, but he mainly was looking for Nerf guns. And he did find an entire cart full of Nerf guns. That's all he did. He filled up his cart full of Nerf guns and then he went through and helped me sort stuff out. It was really cute. He was very helpful. This is his first foray. I know people are going to count me for taking a kid to the bins. I'm not a fan of taking little kids to the bins. That goes to the pants that were previously I just picked up. See, I'm like, oh, this goes to this. So I'm going to get those and look those up. What I was saying about taking kids to the bins. Don't really think of him as a kid. Like, emotionally, he's probably a kid. But at this point when this was filmed, he was 14. He's since then turned 15. He's 6 feet tall. He sounds like James Earl Jones. Nobody treated him like a child. People were treating him like an adult because he looks like an adult. Now, emotionally, he's still a child, but he did look like an adult. I'm not going to send my 11-year-old out in this. I'm not going to send my 7-year-old out in this. I would not take my infant in this. I'm not necessarily worried about their safety, but I would be completely and totally distracted and have no fun whatsoever if I had my younger children here. There were no real misbehaved children. There were some kids that were running around with toys they'd found, which is to be expected. It wasn't like the Indianapolis bins where someone lost their 2-year-old and they continued to call them over the speakers asking who lost their 2-year-old and no one came and got the 2-year-old while we were there. That's not like that here, but yeah, there are kids playing with stuff. There are kids running around on, I think at one point there was a kid on a Razor scooter, but it wasn't as chaotic as it's been in the past. I'm finding a bunch of vintage stuff right here. I will also say I would not pick up vintage long johns. I'm sure there's a market for them, but eBay is like a jerk about used underwear, and technically long johns fall under the underwear list. So it's like, I'm sure people have found other categories to put them in, like maybe under layers or something, but I don't buy used long johns. I will buy used under layers, like Wonder Unders and stuff from Under Armour, and I would sell those as a lot. I would not sell those as a single just because it wouldn't be worth it for me to sell it as a single. It'd be a less than a $10 sale. But if I had multiples of them and I could get $20 for multiples, then I would sell it. Again, with the khakis. There's no resale market for khakis. I just needed khakis. And sometimes you just need to look for yourself. And I do that a lot with clothing. I was pleased that I did get a couple of vintage pillowcases and a couple of vintage sheets. I got a sweater for myself, a sweatshirt for my daughter, and I think something for my son here. And I got 2 or 3 pieces to sell, which I'm fine with. I'm cool with. I wasn't expecting a lot. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything with the clothes, so to find anything was nice. I was going back and forth. I wasn't sure if this was how it was supposed to look, the pillowcase, or if it was like really stained. When I say really stained, like think nicotine stains, not like coffee stains, but more extreme stains that I might have a harder time getting out. I'm also looking for flannel sheets for my mom. This is a curtain. It was very heavy. Had it not been as heavy, if I could have found more than one, I probably would have picked it up because it is very mid-century modern. With the coloring, it is not vintage at all though, but the coloring could have been desirable with that. I only found one thing, and most people will not buy just one. I don't know what they call that. One curtain, part of a curtain. I'm looking at my window and I have 4 on my window, and it's a normal size window, so most people won't buy one. If I had found more than one, I probably would have picked it up. Just coloring style, it's very in brand right now, even though it wasn't vintage. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and have a very productive day.